my name's Emily Forster and this is my project screening of a mini podcast series that I've created. So I'll be pausing after each section of the clip chosen from each podcast and just asking you guys what you think of it, what you dislike, and if there's any improvements that could be made throughout. So that final scene, that final battle where you have Sebastian and Jace trying to resurrect Lilith, trying to bring Sebastian's brother back from the dead. You're like, no, you are not coming back to life, love, at all. That's kind of what the readers of the book think. They're like, I'm not having her back. She's just done too much damage to everyone, to the Lightwoods, to Jace, to Clary, to Simon. It's just done everything in.
It drags on if she keeps on coming back.
Exactly.
Then it gets boring.
Yeah. So obviously you have that connection between Clary's love interest, Jace, and her insane brother, Sebastian. Ugh, what do we do? But yes, the connection, I thought it was a good thing to use the connection between the two of them, obviously both being trained by Jack Valentine on different occasions. So it was different places they were trained as kids. So it's like, do I really want that brought into this, or do I not? It's kind of a two-way situation, isn't it, really?
Yeah.
Last book, my love, last book. So, Jace Burton's brother Zachariah, who we obviously know as who plays Jem Carstairs out of the Infernal Devices. So, he became a silent brother after he got addicted to young phone at a very young age. And when he tries to heal Jace after a battle, Jace has got heavenly fire in him, and he burns brother Zachariah, bringing him back to his normal form. So his Shadowhunter form with the silver hair, and that's, it's nice to see him back because they brought him back out of these books. It's nice to see him back as the normal Shadowhunter, not the silent brother.
Yeah.
Which is different, but it's nice different, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
They travel to Eden, so the Shadowhunters, so Jace, Clary, Izzy, Alec, and they even take Fleming Vampire Simon with them, who is also a daylighter, isn't he? He obviously walks in the sun.
That poor boy, he's had so much happen to him.
Yeah, he has.
Yeah.
So travelling to Eden. So travelling to Eden obviously is the realm of demons, isn't it?
Yeah.
Which is like, yeah. So, what did you think of the clip I played from the Mortal Instruments podcast, Chloe?
I think your voice is very engaging, and it makes you want to listen on and find out what you're talking about. But the only thing I'd say is that there doesn't seem to be too much interaction between the host and the guest. The guest doesn't seem to be giving any input. She's sort of just agreeing with what you're saying rather than giving her own opinion, maybe. So maybe that's something, I don't know, that you bring in your other podcasts or.
David?
I would say the audio is very clear, and it's very nice that your voice is, well, you kept yourself natural to the podcast, but I cannot say the same thing about the other person, as they didn't have much speech in the.
Okay. I'm just going to play a clip from the Hobbit podcast.
And then you have to question the financial side of it. Was it always a financial decision to make 3 films? Because when you think about it, if you've got 3 films, that means because they had 3 consecutive Christmas release dates, which means it's the family Christmas movie, but 3 films also means 3 premieres, 3 sets of merchandise, 3 sets of cinema tickets, and if you're going as a family, 4 or 5 or 6 or whatever like that, you think of the cost of that, and then you have to ask, did they do it for a financial reason, turn it into 3 films?
Yeah, I think they definitely did, because obviously the money they spent on doing the casting, obviously having Martin Freeman, Ian McKellen. They had 2 very, very well-known actors, and that would have been a high price to pay. So I think doing 3 films is probably wise.
And then you have to question, where did that decision come from?
Exactly.
Was that a Peter Jackson decision? Was that a studio decision?
Mm.
I guess really we'll kind of never know, but
Who knows?
yeah.
So obviously we've already discussed like creating the 3 films, so we thought it was more financially based, more than absolutely anything, because obviously selling the merchandise, all of that, it would have.
But was 3 films necessary?
No.
I think that's what the fans were kind of left asking.
Yeah.
Does it need to be 3?
I don't think it needed to be 3. I think if they shortened down those clips of the feast, him meeting them, going on the journey, they needed to show the journey, yes, but little clips
Which is
of
interesting.
it.
You really kind of question studios' decisions in the kind of the adaptions kind of area within the industry. Anyway, we digress back to The Hobbit.
Yeah.
So obviously, yeah, like I said, 3 Christmas release dates. But I think the interesting thing as well is I think it's nice that you've got a slightly older generation who would have grown up with that book. Like I said, it was my mum's book. It's the same as I presume with a lot of people that they would have grown up with it and they kind of want to pass that on to their children. And yes, we all know that children are reading less, but actually parents still get to pass that on to the children through the films. Yes, it may not be exactly accurate to the book, but the knowledge is still the same, isn't
Exactly, yeah.
it? Yeah.
Absolutely. Obviously, you've mentioned about the year the book was released.
Yeah.
So, what did you think of the Hobbit, Corey?
I would say it was a better episode than what the first one was because there was a lot more to talk about. There's a lot more things being thrown around. Instead of just like saying what was in the books or what was in the story, you're talking about what people actually kind of think. Like a lot of the fans were disagreeing, like why was there 3 films, or they were up in arms about that. But also just talking about what you would think as yourself as a viewer who's actually going to take in that content. Like you're even saying like, oh yeah, they should have cut down these things, but they should have also shown the journey. So it's raising a lot of questions, and I guess that can engage the viewers a lot more, especially your guests as well, had a lot of points, which is definitely an improvement for the first one.
Okay, Jasper?
It was engaging, like I was interested, but the improvements that you need to make is like, I thought the guest was the host, because she, like, of course, like, at the start I heard her voice, so I instantly thought that was the host. So like, you need to, I don't know, like, what is it called? Show your dominance in the podcast.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just going to play a clip from the Hunger Games podcast. We've got so many different characters out of this that I absolutely love. So how do you think they were shown in the films in terms of the character they were given? How do you feel the actors done for that specific character themselves?
Oh, it was perfect. They suited them roles to a T. It was so realistic.
Jennifer Lawrence obviously plays...
She slayed. She slayed Katniss Everdeen. Oh my goodness. It was amazing.
I
Love her. And the thing is, I always see her in action movies, but I saw a different side of her acting in Silver Lining. The romantic comedy.
Yes, absolutely. I loved her in Silver Linings Playbook, but it was nice to see her doing something different to the normal action films we're used to seeing her in.
Exactly.
George Hutcherson, my absolute love, playing Peter Mullock. Oh, heavens! He done a really good role with being the baker's son, being the one in love with Katniss.
He played that well.
He did. So we have more than just one director for this entire franchise. So there was one main director for all 4 films, and that was Francis Lawrence. But in the first film, there was 2 directors, which was Francis Lawrence and Gary Ross.
Okay.
So I think they chose to do 2 directors for the first film because it was just getting into it. They wanted to make sure it was quite close to how the book was. And
But they missed one part. Peter's leg.
yeah, that's the only.
Metal in the book.
That's the only thing I had an argument with in terms of how they directed it. But at the same time, how they'd be able to show unless they used a lot of CGI just to change Peter's leg. That's the only way I thought they would be able to do that.
And that would cost more money.
Exactly. Donald Sutherland, he plays President Snow, obviously the president of Panem. I feel he done a really good job in this role because he played the very cranky, very determined, and
Yeah.
he really played this determined character who wanted nothing more than the districts to obey. Okay, what did you think of the Hunger Games podcast? Sean?
I quite liked it, mainly because both of the host and the guest were very engaging. They seemed that like they were both into what they were talking about, and it obviously showed that they had also had knowledge like backed up. So I kind of found it interesting. Yeah.
Joe?
I feel like it's improving with every next episode. So the first episode, for example, was like very like you heavy, like, and then it went to very guest heavy, and now it's sort of an interjection of both. And you can tell who the host is as well because you're asking all the questions. The other one really taking control of the entire podcast. And yeah, it's improving.
David?
How scripted was the production?
It wasn't really that scripted, we just had questions or like notes for me just so I can ask that the questions towards, like give a question towards the guest itself. So they knew what was coming because they had a copy of Runlord so they could know what was going to happen within each section.
Okay, because when you said about the two directors bit, the response was just okay.
Yeah.
It was just very generic. It's very small, but it's just like, she didn't know that information.
That's probably because she didn't look further into the research, whereas I did being the guest, being the host, but I needed to know a lot more about it. Just playing the last bit from the last part. So, why do you think the directors actually thought it'd be good to create another version of the 1969 film?
Well, that's the first question that everybody asks, because the reviews, many sort of unofficial reviewers will just say the remake of the 1969 film, True Grit. But is it a remake, or is it, like you said, an adaptation of the book? Because the more respected critics will lean the second way and say, no, it's a new adaptation of the book. It is not a remake of the 1969 film, because they have very different styles. The directors themselves, Coen brothers, they're very famous for subverting or parodying genres, and they've got a very sort of dark black humour. So for them to suddenly take on a film like this and portray it so accurately and put so much love and care into it is very unlike them, which has confused a lot of people. But to me, I think, to answer your question, the books, the original book, it's got a very dark humour, especially Matty, and that didn't transfer into the 1969 film, and the Coen brothers are the perfect people to get that dark humour and put it in this new film.
I liked the fact they decided to do another make of it, because it gives, obviously, we're going to talk a bit further on into Hayes Seinfeld, who played Matty Ross.
Yes.
But I feel that it gave them a chance to have a different bit of casting as well, put a bit more youth into the film and someone that's more well known to people of my generation.
Yeah. I mean, seeing as you've read the book and you've watched the film, do you think that one is about retribution and one is about justice, or do you think they're both about retribution or justice?
I think they're both about retribution and justice. Because obviously Matty's trying to get justice for her father, but also retribution is obviously trying to kill Cheney.
Yeah, the whole her justification is justice, but it's very much a retribution film almost. She's intent on blood.
Yeah, absolutely. So obviously the year of the book, it came out quite early in the early 20th century. So there's very big difference between that when that was released and when the second film was released. Like there's a massive age gap.
Yeah, 50 years. In fact, 1968.
Okay, so what did you think of the True Grit cast? Chloe?
I think the knowledge of the guests really helped bring the podcast alive. And I think that you've sort of hit the nail on the head with the ratio of him asking you questions, getting you engaged in questions that maybe you hadn't thought of or would talk about if he hadn't been there. So I think the ratio in this one was really good.
Thank you for watching my episode.